All right, so we got a great show ahead. We're going to find out about a children's book a little bit later. But first, we got a lot of things that we want to bring to you. So first, are we going to find out what's going on with Marcus Theaters?
Yes,
All
absolutely.
right, let's hear what the blockbusters are, because on our last show, we were talking about the top Halloween movies and things like that. So let's find out what really is going on with the movies right now with Marcus Theater.
Hello everyone, Ian here, and welcome back to the Marcus Recap. Starting with the box office results, at number 1 is Black Phone 2 with $26.5 million. In second, Tron Ares with $11.1 million. In third, Good Fortune with $6.2 million. In fourth, One Battle After Another with $4 million. And in fifth, Roofman with $3.7 million. Fathom this week on the 23rd is Off School Property. And the 25th and the 26th is Paranorman 3D with its exclusive sequel short. The 21st and the 22nd, you can join us for the return of St. Elmo's Fire. Also on the 22nd, you can ring in spooky season if you haven't already with Nightmare Before Christmas 3D. On the 26th, you can join us for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And finally, 4 new releases. First, Chainsaw Man, Regretting You, Springsteen, Deliver Us From Nowhere, and finally, you can get Stuckmanized with Shelby Oaks. This has been Ian with this week's edition of The Recap.
There you go. There's the movie.
There's the movie.
I never heard of Shelly Oaks.
Shelby Oaks.
Oh, Shelby Oaks. Yeah, I never heard of that one either.
Probably why you haven't heard of it.
I never heard of the right name either. That's all right. I'm always, I'm out there late to party, as I say.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that, knowing what's going on. It's that cooler weather. It's a fun time to go to the movies. Smell that popcorn popping.
I love going to the movies.
You do love going to the
I
movies.
do.
That was one of our kind of first little dates, was going to the movies. It's kind of an easy thing to do. It's a great date because you don't have to talk in case you're a little bit nervous, but then you don't enjoy the candy and popcorn, because usually a girl, we're nervous to we act like we don't eat.
Our first date, we went out to eat, me and Kelley could not even eat her dinner.
No, and it was a beautiful filet mignon. There's something about dating. First of all, we don't want you to think
She's
we
not
ate.
nervous anymore.
Apparently I ate a lot. So you're nervous, you don't act like you eat, and you don't use the restroom.
Yeah.
We don't do any of those things when you're dating. We don't burp either.
And then it changes.
Oh, does it ever change? So, all right, well, let's find out what's going on.
Speaking of changes.
Speaking of changes in the world, do we want to hear from Shebang and see how they're banging things out? Kind of bad wording there. But I mean.
Yeah, let's let them explain it.
Lori, you explain, and everything will make sense.
Welcome to Fast Track Fridays. I'm Laurie.
And I'm Dodie. And today we're talking about something I know a lot of you are going to feel pretty deep in your bones, which is being the one who notices everything.
Yes, we are talking about that kind of noticing. For example, you're the one who sees the trash piling up. You're the one that sees that the milk's about to expire, or the fact that your partner has been quiet for 3 days and maybe your kid's socks don't match. I don't know.
Right. So you notice the vibe shift in the room. You notice when the toilet paper is running low, when someone needs a snack, or when your friend texts, "I'm fine," and you know she's absolutely not fine.
Yeah, you're like the family thermostat, right? You're the glue. You're the one who is emotionally, mentally, and often physically holding the whole operation together.
Right. And here's what doesn't get said enough. That kind of constant noticing, it's a job. It's actually a full-time job.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's unpaid. Actually, I think all the time.
Yeah.
It's unpaid, it's invisible, and completely exhausting.
Yeah, and it does a number on your nervous system. When your brain is always scanning for what's wrong, what's missing, what do I need to fix, you get kind of stuck in a low-grade fight or flight mode and you stay there. And that might look like irritability, overwhelm, maybe a brain fog, trouble sleeping, or maybe you feel, and this was real for me, especially when my kids were younger, I felt like I always had to be on. I could never take a break.
Right, you couldn't relax and enjoy yourself. It doesn't even feel dramatic. It's just that constant internal tension, like you can't truly relax because there's always something you're holding in your head.
That's the worst feeling.
Mm-hmm. Even if you sit down, your brain is like, did I switch the laundry? What are we doing for dinner? Why does the dog look sad?
Oh, the poor dog. Yeah, what are we doing for dinner is that question sets me off. And it can be hard to explain this to someone who's not the noticer. They'll say, oh, you just need to relax, or you just need to ask for help. But that's assuming that someone else is going to see the thing in the first place. And usually they don't. And it's on us, right?
Right. And hope they take over. But that doesn't happen.
Never
Yeah,
happens.
So,
Never happens.
Right. So we're going to talk about what actually does help. So here's a few things we've learned to do. And it lightens that invisible load.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, so the first thing you can do is you can name it out loud. Call it what it is. You can say to your partner, to your kids, to whomever, someone you're working with, I'm carrying a lot of mental tabs open right now. Just naming it can create space between you and the overwhelm or this imaginary list that's in your head.
Number 2, create a shared kind of to-do space. It's a notes app, a whiteboard, anything visible. If you're the only one tracking things in your brain, it's no wonder you're tired and they don't notice.
Yeah, and they can't read your mind.
No.
So,
no.
Number 3, you can lower the stakes. Not everything has to be solved and not everything has to be perfect. So if your kid is walking out the door with mismatched socks, guess what? It's not an emergency. It's not a big deal.
No. Okay, number 4, and I am really learning this one and I love it, is delegate imperfectly. Doesn't have to be right. This is the one big, let people help even if they don't do it your way. That's hard, but your nervous system needs relief more than your ego needs control.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Gotta set
Say
that
that
ego
again.
aside every once in a while.
Yes,
Your
you
nervous
do.
system needs relief more than your ego needs control.
Yep.
That's a big one. Number 5, let's talk about that nervous system again. Nervous system resets. Nervous system resets can look like breath work, walks, silence, sitting in silence, magnesium, a hug, whatever brings you back to you. You are not just a manager of life. Guess what? You're a human being.
Yeah. So if you're the noticer or the vibe keeper or the list holder, the one who always knows what's missing, the everything, this is your reminder. You deserve rest too. You don't have to earn it by holding everything together and being the glue.
Yeah. So if you need help remembering that, that's kind of what we do around here. You can follow us on Instagram at Shebang Menopause or check out the box that we built just for women like us at getshebang.com. Our box, our subscription box has clean, hormone-friendly products, and we curate everything with love, and it's all for midlife women who are doing all the things.
Right. And again, we're just reminding you and everybody, you've earned the right to feel supported, to feel seen, and just actually a little more sane. So we will see you next Friday at Fast Track Fridays.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We appreciate you giving us the shebang each week. You know, one of the worst, I've got this new word now, my new thing that I've learned or I'm bringing into my conversation is the whole thing of your circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm.
It's the 24-hour cycle, that you are in with your body with, light and darkness. And the circadian rhythm gets off when you're going to bed at different times, waking up at different times, not getting enough sunshine. And it's one of the small little things after having Lauren and
I
Chris.
all the sunshine I need.
Oh, wow, that was deep.
That was pretty lame.
Lauren Pronger, when she was on with Chris, talking about her new book, Super Well. Just talking about small little things in your life to change to help you to feel better. The older you get, the harder it is to feel better, especially when you're going, like people like us who are going so much. That's why we're always constantly going, what's the name? What's going on? Because we're going at such a fast pace. We have lots of deadlines with what we do. We're coming and going, taking care of things for people and other that and then of course the social media, the blue light, all those things make an effect on why this brain fog and the ability to be able to talk and carry on a conversation gets so much harder. And they say you've got to restart, you've got to reboot your circadian rhythm. And one of those things, which I tried it for the first time this morning, I had to get up early. I didn't get to really go and enjoy the sunrise, but they say getting up and just sitting, don't have your phone or anything, because that's the problem. You go outside to relax and sit and you're sitting there scrolling on your phone. You have to get away from the technology, your phones, watch the sunrise, be aware of your surroundings, the sounds and things that are going on, and then let that sun actually hit you for a few minutes. They say that it boosts your serotonin. I mean, think of what a small thing to do, to just get up and watch the sunrise and let the sun hit you. They say it resets your clock. It helps boost your serotonin levels, can tremendously help with depression and things that are going on in your life, get that fog out of your head. And then, of course, if you can carry the rest of your day with a walk or yoga or whatever it is that turns you on for exercising, your body, and then, try to at least get enough water and nourishment. These are really simple little things to do. Water, nourishment, taking a walk. They're so simple, but you know how many of us don't do it because we're in the constant rat race of getting through the day of everything that we have to do. And, gosh forbid we don't text that person back or read that email and respond. We're just living in a different way, and we seriously mess our systems up.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So it's really, I mean, these are such simple things, but yet we still don't do it. Crazy, right? So if you want something to add to your life that's fun and put those phone down, right, is to maybe go see music. You love music.
I love music.
And
Music has a
go
way of
see a
healing.
band. So we love that Kat brings us what's going on for the weekend. And, there's so many great local bands that are entertaining around town. And Kat always brings it to us. So Kat Muse, take it away. Tell us what's rocking in the city.
Thanks, Kelley and Gordon. And here's what's going on this weekend in music. Friday, start off your weekend ride with Fortunate Son, a CCR tribute, and Pink Houses, a John Cougar Mellencamp tribute at Diamond Music Hall. Soulshine Groove will be at Baker's and Hale. And Big Rich McDonough and the Rhythm Renegades are playing Howlin' Fridays at National Blues Museum. John and Sean are doing acoustic jams at Charlotte Pub, where all the best musicians play and the music matters. Fry Project will be at Tegan's, and Decades Apart will be at the Clubhouse. Sasquatch debuts at St. Charles Music House. Check them out. And the Johnny Henry Band will be at KT Saloon. Saturday, Uber Cool's playing Oktoberfest at Hermanoff Winery. And Dave King will be at 1837 Herman for Oktoberfest. And it's Tia Tricama, Lucy's Palace, and Social Butterflies, 3 bands, no waiting at Diamond Music Hall. Decades Apart will be at the Doghouse, and Rich and the Renegades with Joe Metzger will be at Hammerstones doing an afternoon show. Ford Rangers debut at Bunkers, and Plastic Kings will be at the Boathouse on the North Shore. Chicago Farmer will be at Focal Point, and Destroy the Future will be at 21 Rock. The Retro Nerds will be at the Pump House in Wood River. Sunday Fun Day. Brutopia will be at Stone Ledge Distillery. The Inappropriate Conduct will be at St. Charles Music House. Live music is better. Thank you for supporting our artists and venues. Check out STL Roar Monday nights from 7 to 9 and have a safe week, St. Louis.
Thank you, Kat. We appreciate that. Always love to know what's rocking. I was really excited to see that Tia Tricamo is on the list of bands. Tia she's adorable. She was actually my media and marketing assistant with a while of my children's books. And I was so sad when she got a job in Chicago and was moving on to being a big adult.
I know.
So, but how fun she's going to be. We did get to actually watch her at,
Yes.
what's the name of Johnny's place?
Diamond Music.
Diamond Music Hall. And then I've never heard of St. Charles Music Hall. Is that new, or am
St.
I
Charles Music House.
Sorry.
You know what? I don't know where that is, to be quite honest
Is it
with you.
new? We'll have to find out if it's new, because
Yeah.
I've never heard that name mentioned before. So I'm wondering if something's changed its name, if it's new, or again, I'm just late to the party as usual.
Yeah, I'll look it up real quick.
Not sure what it is. So coming up next, we're actually going to hear from Audra. Audra's got a new fashion interview that she is bringing to us, and we're going to hear all about that. So Audra.
Hi, my name is Audra Harold, and I'm the co-founder and executive director of STL Fashion Alliance. And today I have the pleasure of being with Brett Schnittker, who is the CEO of Stars Design Group. Welcome. I'm glad you're here with me today.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about Stars? Where are we in this beautiful place?
We're in our fabric library. We have 50,000 swatches collected over years and years in all categories. Stars has been around about 25 years. So we do everything from design, development, production, and delivery for brands all over the United States.
So it's fair to say you're probably a fabric expert.
Well, I've been doing it a long time. Yeah.
Which is great, which is what we're here to talk about today. We're going to go ahead and start with food as fashion. That's something that we don't really know about. And can you share with us some of the maybe odd and curious things that we're using for?
Sure. And you say you have 7 minutes, which is tough for me. That's way too short.
Right.
So this is kind of a fast food and fashion kind of shot. It's kind of amazing today. You know, this whole thing about food and fashion, these food-based fabrics are coming up all over the place. The category itself is kind of bio-based fabrication, and they take all sorts of forms. You can get apple leather, olive-based leather, which you see up front here, really touches and feels, but it's all built out of olive as a substrate. There's cactus-based leather, mushroom-based leather, fabrications here. There's milk-based fabric. There's rose petal-based fabric, oyster-based fabric. I mean, really, your 4 basic food groups sit here in fabric today. And while it doesn't make up a massive amount of volume for the overall production, you know, cottons, nylons, and polys make up a vast production, there is a really rising awareness here for that stuff.
That's wonderful. So as far as like touching and feeling and washability and all those things that are important to us as a consumer, how do plant-based fabrications, how are they different from like our nylons and the things we're used to?
You know, it's interesting because the way that these are created is that they'll take the basic substrate plant-based fiber, they'll break it into a cellulosic substance and extrude it much like poly or nylon is extruded today. And this kind of whole category of fabrics, they kind of perform sort of like synthetics. They wash really, really well. They feel fantastic. Some of them feel like silk. Some of them feel a little more performance-y. Some have a very cotton hand feel. I think that one is rose petal based. So it comes from all different areas, and they all have different textures to mimic some of the larger categories of fabric that are out there.
Wonderful. So why give us a little bit more information about like why we're kind of, do you think we're really trending this way, and why are we trending this way?
Well, major crops like cotton are very thirsty crops. They use up a lot of resource, water being more of a precious resource every day. Sustainability is a big conversation. So these bio-based fabrics are basically utilizing the waste from these different materials. When apples go bad, how do you turn that apple into leather, right? So it really is sustainability at a core. It's something that's trying to drive and offset the challenges that we see with polyester and nylon today, which is almost 70% and growing of our overall apparel production.
Wow. And tell us about how long it takes for polyesters to decompose
well,
in a
landfill.
landfill.
You know this answer. 300 to 500 years in a landfill. It's, I remember years ago when I was younger and somebody was talking about nuclear waste and they were like 20, now I was much younger,
right.
But 21 years, until, half-life. And you're like, my God, that seems like forever.
Right.
Now you're elevating these fabrics that can sit 300 to 500 years in a landfill. And it's a, no play on words, a growing problem.
Right.
And so how do you create these alternatives? And while some of these startups, they start and fail because there's not enough funding. The key is how do you get enough metric volume to make a difference? And so we're exploring that. We're looking at all these different alternatives. And hopefully a few of these will make it to what you said called prime time, big volumes.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so tell us a little bit, there's kind of switch gears a little bit, like the futuristic, kind of the science, like what's happening that's really cool and innovative that you can share with us as far as fabrications?
Well, outside of the 4 basic food groups we're talking about here, we've talked that polyester and nylon are really the largest kind of production fabrics that are going on. And it has these inherent problems in terms of biodegradability. And for a long time, scientists around the world are trying to find a solution for it. And I would tell you, we stumbled across one, happened to be an old friend of mine, Andrea Ferris, And quietly, they've been developing this since before 2017. The brand is called Ciclo, Ciclo. And what's amazing about this is that, poly and nylon not only have a challenge with the long time about it biodegrading in landfill 300 to 500 years, is that a lot of consumers are becoming a hell of a lot more aware of a thing called microparticulates, plastics that are in our brains and in our water and, everywhere.
Right.
Those are basically plastic-based fabrics. And so every time you throw those garments in your laundry, those microparticulates find its way through streams and waste systems out into the oceans. When you take this very unique product, Ciclo, basically poly and nylon are created by these pellets you put in, melts it down, extrudes them out into thread. Ciclo is simply an additive to the existing process. 1 container of Ciclo pellets to 40 containers of poly or nylon radically changes the base DNA of the fiber. You eliminate all microparticulates, and the average biodegradability in a landfill or an ocean water is about 3 years, about the same as wool. So we're super excited about that because, sometimes you got to find solutions to manage the big problems as these things start to grow up.
So all your exercise leggings and things like that, when you're going to yoga, it will help with that as
100%.
well. Awesome. Well, I'm with Brett Schnicker today at Stars Design Group, CEO. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
My pleasure.
Things that we didn't even know, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, have this for happy hour snack if you'd like.
Roast battle. Thank you very much.
We are back with the In Your City show and have a wonderful guest with us. Before we meet our guest, I want to make sure to say thank you to Jennifer Williams. She is the owner and founder, 35 years plus now of owning the St. Louis Closet Company. Her son's involved now. He's in with the family business, and amongst all of her employees, which I shouldn't call employees, I should say team members, because they're like family there. And they have a gorgeous showroom over on Big Bend. Go through there. You're going to see all kinds of ideas to help spark something maybe to take care of in your home that's going to take you from chaos to calm. And it doesn't matter if it's a little bitty space, which they love those the most, because you don't realize having no room, how they can take this little bitty space and make it seem like you have so much room by how they can redo it and organize it for you. They do everything on site. They're locally manufactured. They've never missed an appointment. She is all about supporting local with closets for a cause. And then, you know what? She's a locally women-owned business. Can you get better than that? Check out Jennifer Williams. Go in to St. Louis Closet Company and see what they can do to help make your life a little bit easier. That they can definitely do for you. So everything is tailored to you. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is. Thank you, Jennifer Williams, for being a part of the In Your City show and all you do here in St. Louis for others. So here we go. Tell a little bit about Dr. Jeremy Housewright, who's in the house. Pulled at my heartstrings when I found out that he has a children's book.
He is, and he's from St. Louis area. You grew up in Columbia, Illinois. At 17, you began covering high school sports as a freelance writer for local newspapers. That's 17 years of age you were doing that. I think I was still delivering newspapers, not writing for them. You went to school at SIUE in 2005, got your degree, and where you completed your master's at Missouri Baptist University, or you graduated work at Missouri Baptist University, where you completed your master's and doctorate's education leadership in 2019. I mean, are we allowed to even be in the same room with you right now? Because I just feel like...
What makes a doctor want to write a children's book?
And then you also did some stuff for a local newspaper across Missouri and Illinois, but you also authored For the Love of the Show, Pro Wrestling Fans Tell Their Stories for the Love of the Show 2. More stories from pro wrestling fans. I love that. Pro wrestling in St. Louis. We'll talk 2 seconds on pro wrestling, but that's...
He can't. He's got to.
2 seconds. Pro wrestling is huge in St. Louis. Everybody loves it. You know, we used to watch it on KPLR Channel 11. I have a 4 DVD set about pro wrestling and all the guys from St. Louis, you know. And what was his name, the announcer?
Muchnick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Fun times.
So were you a kid that was
Watching the
just
grandmas on KPL or 11 and go up and smash the wrestlers and hit them. It's like old ladies. It was great.
So did you grow up with a love of it and said, I've got to bring it back in a book?
Yeah, it was something that my grandfather and I shared together. He would take me over to the old Checker Dome to see Hulk Hogan when I was a kid.
Ric Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair. Probably when I was like 7 years old was my first time going. I still got the ticket stubs.
Really?
So yeah, I've
Dick the
been,
Bruiser.
yeah.
Oh
been a
my
big
gosh.
fan ever since, and it was just something I felt I had to write about. I started shooting photography and traveling to shows and shooting photography for my website for some WWE shows. And in my travels, I met some fans from all over the country, and they had interesting stories. So that led to the 2 books.
So if someone's heard about that, where can they find your wrestling? The name of it again is
For the Love of the Show.
The Love of the Show.
And you can find those on Amazon or my own website, jeremyhousewright.com.
Perfect. Wonderful. So here you are, which I appreciate so much. You wrote a review on my children's book when it came out, and that's how we met, actually. And then from there, we have hit on some of the things that you're doing as well. And I'm so sorry you've been talking and we didn't have your mic on. Hopefully it's been nice and clear. Your voice is penetrated through the room here so we can hear it. But so let's first talk about, so the children's book, it's a new children's book, Gertrude Goes to the Ballpark.
Yes.
We all love baseball. We all love the ballpark. Let's give a little background, because one of the things that when we first talked, when you were kind enough to do the review, you had an interest in writing a review on my children's book because the love of bulldogs.
Mhm.
And you have quite the story of Gertrude that I'd love for you to share before we talk about your book. And it's the relationship with Gertrude with your father, right? Or was that a previous?
So my
There we
grandfather
go.
was very close to my first bulldog, Lucy.
There we go.
And what's funny is when my wife and I moved into our house, we had a split level home, and Lucy would sneak downstairs at night and be bad and do her business in the basement. She would not go outside, but she would go up and down 14 steps, even though she was lazy as could be. And in that process, either there or getting off the couch, she tore her cruciate ligament in one of her legs, something that bulldogs frequently do.
Yes.
And when we took her to the vet told us, you could either let it scar over or do the surgery. He recommended letting it scar over because he said if you do the surgery, odds are she'll tear the other one.
And I've heard that numerous times.
Yeah. So my grandfather, being a huge fan of dogs in general, said, well, we'll take her and keep her till she gets better. Well, that turned into them keeping her for, I think it was 6 years. And
fell in love.
Yeah. He literally,
not to.
he would tell her good night every night. She'd lay on the couch and he would, tell her good night and cover her up at night. And she passed away at age 12. And what was crazy about that is she passed away, and then he was in the hospital at the time, and about a week later he passed away.
They were so connected.
Yeah.
It's amazing how your soul can
Mhm.
connect to a furry little beast, right?
Yeah.
How awesome is that he got that love from the bulldog?
I mean, I would
They shared that love together.
What's funny is she was 12 years old and she was not in great shape. She was born with a crooked front leg, which is how I got her, because the breeder was going to put her down because he didn't want to breed her because he was afraid her puppies would have the crooked leg as well. And I would take her into the nursing home when he was near the end to visit him. She couldn't walk all the distance, so I would put her in a wheelchair. And
That's cute.
what's crazy is she was 49 pounds when she went to their house. By the time she was near the end, she was 79.
I bet.
And I would push her in a wheelchair to his room, and these old ladies sitting in the hallway would tell me, Sonny, please stop feeding her.
She's getting too chubby.
So she was a big girl, but she enjoyed life. And, when she passed away and we had lost our golden retriever, Linus, right around the same time. And we had went a few months without a dog, and I just happened to be looking around on the internet, and I found I think it was called Senior Dog Rescue here in St. Louis, and picture of Gertrude popped up, and I immediately knew that I had to go see her. And so
Something just comes over you, isn't
yeah,
it? And same with Olive. It's like,
yeah,
gotta have her.
yeah. So I went to visit her, and she had a really horrible backstory. She had been used for breeding, and the breeders with the English bulldogs a lot of times will perform the C-sections on the dogs themselves. So her stomach was all scarred up. She had multiple C-sections. And when we brought her home, she would not come out of her crate. The only time she would come out of her crate was to go outside and do her business, and that was it. And she'd go right back into her crate.
Aw.
And it was that way for a year. And I would literally have to go sit in front of her crate and hand feed her breakfast and dinner every day. And it got to the point where I was kind of worried, because this went on
Year's
for
a long
year.
time,
A year's
yeah.
a long time.
Right.
And I actually called a young lady who is, I guess you'd call her like a dog whisperer. She came to the house to visit, and she sat with Gertrude, and she's like, well, she'll be fine. She's just going to take a while to come out of her shell. And well, COVID hits, and I was still working. So I was an assistant principal at a school at the time. Well, my wife's job had sent her home. So she was at home full time for several months. And lo and behold, one day I was on lunch break, and she calls me and she goes, you're not going to believe it. She goes, Gertrude came out of her crate. I said, well, that's crazy. And she goes, and she got on the bed. And she
Now
has
she's never getting off.
she has got off.
No way.
Our king size bed is where she stays.
We know the feeling.
Yeah. And whenever we watch the bedding weekly, she throws a fit. She will walk around the house and cry and whine,
Oh.
and she thinks it's hers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it was her being home and she started to feel safe with someone in the home? Because, when you leave for work, they're alone, and not another dog being there to.
Absolutely.
And so she became, I guess, comfortable, feeling like she was secure.
Yeah. And I think, we know she's closer to my wife. I think she feels a little bit closer to my wife, which they're both female, so that would only make sense. And that's fine. I just want her to be happy and
Oh,
safe.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
she is. She's very talkative now. She thinks she rules the roost around our house.
Bulldogs are not like any dog I've ever had. I had labs. We have chocolate poodle. We had a part pit, part lab. And then growing up in my home, we had Saint Bernard, and we always had lots of animals and that.
Yeah.
I have never in my life experienced having an animal, a dog, until having a bulldog.
Yeah.
What's so crazy is we thought we had this unique, just unbelievable little special dog in our home. Little chunk, we call her moo cow or moo pig. That they all seem to have these traits with their paw. And does Gertrude like to put her butt up against you?
Sometimes.
She spuns around.
Yes.
It's like, I want your nose. I don't want your butt. And she has to turn around and put her butt. And then they start wiggling it and doing, they're hilarious. And triggers, the vacuum, the
She
spray
loves
in the
my
windows.
drill.
Oh, really?
My power drill.
She'll grab
Olive
it
will
and bring
run.
it.
She'll come in,
Clear out
and
the
she'll put it
toolbox.
in her mouth, and she'll walk out with the drill and go down.
But that's after she's cleared out the toolbox to find the drill and then bring it. It's all slobbery.
She just wants
And that's
to do it.
heavy.
Wow.
That
Gertrude
drill's
doesn't
heavy.
do anything like that.
Oh,
And
well,
she
don't let
likes-
her hang around with Olive.
She likes Amazon boxes too.
When
Really?
we grab a box to come in from the front porch, she will eat it. And then if she's fixated on or if there's something she wants, then she's fixated on it. And she will just be at this still stance, just staring at it. We got a basketball for our grandson, and she loves balls. She wants to pop them with her nose, or hit them with her nose and pop them in the air. Well, we wrapped it. We thought we've got to get this thing out of sight because she was losing her mind. So she sat there we had to finally hide the Christmas present because she
She
knew
knew
it
what
was
it was.
inside the wrapped Christmas box and stare at it. They are a very unique breed.
They are.
Can't imagine anything else
No.
having it.
No.
So
Well, let's talk more about
let's
Gertrude.
talk about Gertrude. Well, we're just,
Yeah.
bulldogs. If you haven't been around a bulldog, you're missing out on
are.
experience because they're like nothing. It's like a little special human. I don't
Yes.
know what to say.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I mean, yeah, we take her to Burger King and get her a hamburger. And that's the only time we go to fast food places to take her.
But also, people can't get enough of her, probably,
No,
right? They
yeah.
probably look forward to seeing her, don't
Mhm.
they?
Oh, yeah, my mom, she'll call me. I just want to see Gertrude.
They have some special power over humans that you just literally you drop to your knees to be in front of them and be part of it.
Yeah.
So you tell us how you got inspired. Obviously Gertrude inspired you, but
Mhm.
let's talk about the love of this children's book, which is Gertrude Goes to the Ballpark.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something to write after the first two wrestling books, and I just didn't really have a passion for anything at the moment. And I had been thinking about writing about Gertrude, but I wasn't sure how to go about doing it. I just didn't have the mindset for something too serious. And I was just kind of playing around one day with some graphic stuff on a computer, and I started playing with some photos I had of Gertrude. And we were talking about how she likes to watch baseball on the bed with me at night.
Really?
I would turn on Cardinals and Royals games because those are my teams I like to watch, and she would sit there and watch it with me till she fell asleep, of course. And so I just started coming up with some ideas about her playing baseball.
He was there, right?
Yeah. So it started as her playing baseball.
So
at
she's a
first.
tomboy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how it kind of came to be. And it kind of blossomed from there. I came up with the story idea about taking her to a game, kind of based on I was watching a game one day, and it was when people could take their dogs to the game. And I thought that would be kind of an interesting thing to take Gertrude to a baseball game.
It'd be an interesting day at the ballpark.
Yes,
All
it
those
would.
dogs.
Yes, and it'd be kind of hard to take a bulldog to the ball game because you'd have to have really good weather, one, because they can't be out in hot weather.
And they don't like thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
And if you're Olive, you want to chase the ball.
Yeah.
So,
That would happen
Yeah.
too.
And Gertrude would want probably snacks nonstop. So it would be interesting. So I just kind of came up with the concept of it.
Yeah.
And
I
kind of
love
let
the
it
cover.
and it thank you. Yeah,
the
kind of
cover's
ran with
cool,
it.
and I like the
Adorable.
baseball card.
Yeah, I designed a baseball card
Love
that I give out to kids when they buy a book.
Love it.
And
That's
it's even got her
adorable.
stats on the back.
Her stats.
Like it's got
Okay,
her
what are some of her stats there?
so it's got her weight, 50 pounds, which is probably a little light, but that's all right.
That's all right. They lie on all players' stats as far as their weight, their height.
Says she was adopted as a free agent.
A free agent.
Career highlights in 2025, she won a hot dog eating contest. First bulldog to catch a walk-off home run at Busch Stadium, and helped me throw out the first pitch of a baseball game.
So cute. What a great idea. The
Yeah.
baseball card. That's going to be a collector's item.
I hope so. As someone who is in the hobby and still kind of collects cards myself, I thought, it'd be kind of cool. I wanted to do some, and I remember you did the stuffed animal.
Yes, there's
the
a plushie right behind you.
the plushie, and I'm like, I think a baseball card would be kind of cool.
Perfect, actually.
And it fits the theme of the book.
Yeah.
So,
They get to take a piece of Gertrude home with them.
Yeah.
Besides the book, of course, having that.
Mhm.
So where can you find the book?
So as of now, it is on Amazon. It is on Barnes and Noble. It's
Nice.
basically anywhere books are sold.
Sure. And I know you just had a book signing,
did.
which you brought Gertrude, which is so
did.
cute. Did the kids just love meeting her?
Showing that
They
right now.
did, yeah. We
Yeah,
had
look
a
at her.
book signing in
What a cutie.
my hometown of Columbia, Illinois, at a pet store called Three Tails, and we had a total sellout. We had
Oh,
Gertrude there,
I
and
love that.
it was supposed to go for 4 hours, and I think it only lasted about 3. So
Because you ran out of books.
we ran out of
I
books.
can't believe you just said Columbia, Illinois. I've never even heard of Columbia, Illinois. and Jackie and Dan's daughter's getting married in Columbia, Illinois.
You never heard of Columbia, Illinois?
Oh, I think of Columbia, Missouri. I don't think of Columbia, Illinois.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I've never been there. Have you?
Oh my gosh, Kel. Yeah, I've been there. My sister's husband, the one that passed away, he lived in Columbia,
Well,
Illinois.
that makes sense. No wonder you would know. But I bet there's not a lot of
Yeah.
people going Columbia. Is it a small? It's a small.
It used to be. It's
Oh, it's
gotten
bigger now.
It's gotten a lot.
I mean, most people, when you think of Columbia, think of Columbia, Missouri,
Yes.
the Mizzou Tigers, that kind of
Right.
thing. But to hear Columbia, Illinois twice in 2 days when
Sure.
you've never even heard of it, for me, that is.
Is the wedding going to be at the Falls?
It's, I'm not sure. She was saying that there's a place that she loved that would be out there.
Got to be the Falls.
And she's like, because it's an hour away from us.
Yeah.
So she's like, and she picked that. But
You said an hour away today. I was thinking, wow. And then you say Columbia, Illinois. I was like, oh, it's not that far.
No.
No, an hour's not that bad. But I mean,
It's
it
more like
is
40 minutes.
when you're going to a wedding, you'd like it to be a little bit closer, but
Sure.
that's okay. But so back to Gertrude. So you do you have anything coming up right now?
Yeah, what's funny is I just got a new shipment of books in today. So
Yay.
finally, I've been waiting on those. What's crazy is I've never had issues with ordering books before, but with children's books, I've had all kind of issues.
What do you think that is?
Well, it had to do with the coloring. I guess when
Oh, sure.
it had to do with like the bleed of the
Mhm.
coloring
Yep.
was too high.
Yes.
And so when I had the first couple books printed, it wasn't an issue. But when I went to order a bulk of them,
Then it
it
happened.
became an issue. And I went through a company called Ingram Spark, which
Yep,
I
different
love
company.
working with, but they're very hard to get a hold of.
So I've just talked about today. I'm in the same position. Amazon, boy, you can get a hold of them,
Yeah.
a hot flash, but Ingram Spark, it's a ticket and you're waiting forever and they never answer your question correctly either.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Yeah,
it's a tough one in there, but you have more books coming. So where are you going to be then?
So I will be at several different sports card shows coming up.
Well, that's a great idea.
Yeah, a couple in Washington, Missouri, a couple here in St. Louis at oh shoot.
Is there somewhere that we can go if we want to meet Gertrude and get a hold of your book where we can personally have it signed versus just ordering it
Yeah.
on a Barnes and Noble? Is there a
Yeah.
place to go and find out about your dates and times?
My website, jeremyhousewright.com,
Okay.
or Facebook, Dr. Jeremy Housewright.
You'll have all of your information
Yeah.
there for us to be able
I
to,
keep it all updated.
because I'm sure people would love to meet Gertrude and have a signed copy as well
Yes.
when they're going to be taking home Gertrude Goes to the Ballpark.
hmm
Precious. Do you think you're going to have a book too? Is she going to be traveling and going anywhere else?
So my idea with this is I designed this to where it could easily be switched to any baseball team. And
So you want to keep the baseball theme going.
well, possibly. My thinking is I would love to talk to Major League Baseball about doing all the teams, like a Gertrude series for every team.
Fun. How many teams are there?
32.
32.
Oh, she's going to be busy.
Because I think that would be really cool,
Yeah.
but also
Wearing their jersey.
I can't deny the fact that there are already some renderings of Gertrude driving a St. Louis Blues Zamboni in a Blues jersey.
So she might go to the hockey
So possibly, but I am personally a huge
baseball thing.
Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Oh, okay.
And what a lot of people don't realize is Gertrude's name was originally supposed to be Kelsey.
Oh my gosh.
I had when I adopted Gertrude, I had got her a Chiefs jersey, a collar, and even a tag that said Kelsey, obviously after Travis Kelsey. And my wife had just watched the show he had done years ago called Catching Kelsey and did not like him.
Oh, so that wasn't
She-
going to happen.
So I had left that weekend to go to Notre Dame, and when I came back,
She was
it was
Gertrude.
Gertrude.
I love Gertrude.
And it's been Gertrude ever since.
Aw.
And that's what's
Perfect.
meant to be.
Well,
Yeah.
Dr. Jeremy Housewright, thank you so much for joining us, talking about Gertrude Goes to the Ballpark. Love your new children's book. Can't wait to be able to meet Gertrude out at one of your signings as well. Take a look at his Facebook, Dr. Jeremy Housewright, or of course, you can go to your website. Is that Dr. Jeremy Housewright as well?
JeremyHousewright.com.
JeremyHousewright.com, and find out where you're going to be. Thank you so much. All right. Well, we are at the end of the show. Again, it just seems to whiz by all the time here on the In Your City show, the Lou Information Station. We appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you so much for stopping in to see us. And until our next show, we always want to let everybody know, have a beautiful evening. Don't waste a minute. And
Cheers.